right, everyone, welcome back. So, we continue on our 2024 trade deadline previews with the Dallas Stars. So, the Stars, once again, another very interesting team here. They're going to be buyers. It's just a matter of, well, what are they going to get? So, as of right now, they are currently 35, 16, and 8 for 78 points. They are first overall in the Central Division. So, they're in a pretty good spot. They're a point ahead of Winnipeg. I do believe they have a game in hand. So they are overall in a very good spot there in that Central Division. So it's a matter of, well, what are you going to get at the deadline? Now, as of right now, their projected cap space is not a lot. They only have $420,000 in cap space. Now, $420,000 sounds great and all. However, you're trying to put together a hockey team. So you obviously can't do that with $420,000, even though I'd love that $420,000. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do much for Dallas, but if you want to pay me $420,000, I'm right here. Regardless, your UFAs and RFA list is very interesting. And it's going to show that, after this season, there could be a player and players that either leave or even retire, in fact. So your UFA list is Joe Pavelski, Matt Duchene, Craig Smith, Yanni Hakanpää, and Scott Wedgwood are all of your 5 UFAs there. So Pavelski, he's producing at a much lesser rate than we've seen in previous years. That's understandable because he's getting older in age. He's a guy who, coming down the stretch here, and if the Dallas Stars do win that Stanley Cup, it's possible Pavelski at the end of the season says, I'm going to hang up the skates, I'm retiring. That could happen. That's a very possible factor, and I'm not denying it either. Matt Duchene, been a very good forward this year, probably the best free agency acquisition on a 1-year, pretty cheap contract, is nearly a point per game, in fact. So, if I'm Dallas, I'm trying to keep him. I'm trying to keep him maybe long-term. Not as much as he was getting paid in Nashville, but something along those lines. He is a very effective forward this year for them. Craig Smith, been a solid, fourth liner. I'd imagine they keep him around. He hasn't been too bad for the team overall. Hakanpää, kind of the same thing. More or less a third pairing, fourth depth defenseman. Not a bad option there either. And then Scott Wedgwood. When Ottinger's been injured and out of the lineup, Wedgwood's been good in replacement for him. So he's a guy that I think Dallas would want to keep around for sure. He's a name that I would think, he's one of those players, one of those goalies that is a very solid backup. So I would want to keep him. Your restricted free agents, however, you got Ty Dellandrea, Sam Steele, Nils Lindqvist, and Joel Hanley. So you look at those names there. You got Dellandrea, not a bad forward. Just hasn't put up the point production we've seen in previous years. He's been a guy that, he's been up and out of the lineup and has been injured as well. So obviously not ideal there for the Stars, but we'll get a contract for sure. Sam Steele hasn't been that bad. I would want to see more out of him, though. He's been kind of a disappointing player in Dallas. I'm sure he will stay, though. Lundqvist, he's been a solid defenseman, probably not scoring a lot offensively, but still been a solid guy overall. And then obviously, too, Hanley hasn't been a bad younger player. So those are all young guys you probably keep around here in this Stars organization. So what are your needs? Well, they've been looking at a lot. There hasn't been a lot of talks really in what they're looking for, but there has been sayings that they are looking around a lot. They're calling a lot of teams. They're very active, even though they've been relatively quiet on the rumor front. They're calling a lot of teams, looking for a lot of options, trying to put together the best team possible. So I'm thinking you're looking for a top 4 defenseman. That is what killed you in the playoffs against Vegas. I think you're looking for a top 4 defenseman for sure. Looking for a defenseman to stacker that blue line more. You're also looking for a winger, possibly. Their center core is almost perfect. It's a pretty good center core. I don't think you're looking for a center. You want to get a winger, especially. So I'm looking at guys that are low price, very cheap, and can score you some goals. Mantha, a guy that we covered in last video, he's not cheap, not very cheap, but he's an effective option for Dallas. So maybe they go down that road. Who knows? Your movable pieces, I only have the 2024 first. If they wanted to move younger players per se, like maybe they move Lundqvist, maybe they move Dellandrea, just names that I'm spitballing out there. Maybe they move guys like that. But apart from that, I feel like they only have the 2024 first as a legitimate option. And I'm thinking they probably will be more active at this year's deadline because last deadline they didn't do a whole lot, and they obviously didn't win the Stanley Cup. So definitely, I think the Stars will be active, and I think they will be looking for a good name out there on the trade front. But anyways, that is my deadline preview for Dallas. Another really short video here. Not a whole lot to talk about with them. They've been a little bit more quiet than the usual teams. But anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to hit that like button. And please subscribe down below. I really appreciate it. Thank you all very much for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.